Monster kill!
Battle begins.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, we're about to find out here if indeed TSM can step it up here for the game 2. Game 1 fogged completely down from Entity. Considering these drafts, do you think indeed are we going to get to see TSM once more push it to at least a third game? Will they be able to take a game back against Entity with this?
I would hope so. I mean, this time they're playing with Dubu with his Chen, you know, much more comfortable. Not to say that he's not comfortable at Dawn, but this is literally like...
Two of them. Saberlight, he's going to be the first to go down. They'll get Toby in return. See if TSM can take anything more. They'll turn their attention over towards Kataomi. Jump forward with the Earth Shock. Tomato's trying to stay on target. Another stun, another
nice
hook. Take it up. They grab in Tomato. Entity, they'll be able to take him out as well. 2 kills for them. Both Kataomi and Pure incredibly low here as TSM desperately trying to chase and get something in return. They do find Kataomi. Fishman and Stormers should also be able to split from this.
Bryo got 2 of the kills. Pretty big. That mid-tiny versus the Lina matchup.
Pure, they're even teasing with another hook. Be able to find a connection.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's he gonna do? He's gonna suicide. Probably best move he could do to reset. Okay, so let's see. All things considered, everything's done. Bryo's gonna have like a bottle, pretty much done in the mid lane. So as the panel was mentioning, you know, Lina favored matchup, perhaps not as bad as it once was because there's no heart, no small camp anymore. But now a bottle for the tiny. Looks like Bryo should just be able to do fine in that matchup. And we still have bounty runes, so I think there's still 3 bounties on the table. Actually, nobody grabbed the top bounty, Owen.
It's still there?
Top
so
bounty.
We'll see if someone heads back for that soon.
Bottom river bounty as well, too, so.
Let's see how some of these lanes have been set up then. So at the moment, down bottom, we're going to have Pure Fishman here against Saberlight, who is on his own, starting with a bit of tri-lane action top TSM. With the hook set up, but no further slowdown, so Saberlight will manage to walk this off.
And Pure, I believe, did get 2 of the kills. He was next to 2 of the kills, right? So he will have that fleshy bonus once he does kick it in to get that extra strength off those kills. Saberlight has to be a bit careful sticking this low, just because the hook Pure damage could just honestly kill him. Once they hit level 2, they'll have the damage to be able to bring him down. So has to be a bit cautious of his positioning.
Next creep will give Pure that level. And already he's starting things off. Need to go here.
Moon actually runs in.
They're both incredibly good. I mean, the Ancient Stone will hit onto Pure.
I mean, Moon's gonna die. A couple more hits.
He's got the Fairy Fire. Fishman trying to outright click him.
He's like, whew.
How are they doing for regen? Saberlight's completely out. Few tangos on Moon. TSM will have to stand pretty far away from the wave. There's enough mana for another hook. They cannot risk Pure getting the angle on them.
Oh, and they can't lane right now. They actually just have to walk away from the lane. And they could just die if they step up at all. Moon.
I mean, how do they recover from this situation? We see already what Saberlight looking for something nice in the jungle.
The creep, and he's found it. So he found the most opportune creep, of course, for himself, but that's not going to help him. That's not going to help him for the health. You know, he's going to be able to burn the mana at the very least from the Pudge, but they're just completely zoned. Okay, so free farm Pudge.
It certainly looks like it. I don't think there's going to be anything that's slowing down Pure in this lane anytime soon with the way that this has started down here.
Saberlight does have a salve that was delivered to him, so we'll at least be able to regen back up and come back to the lane, but Fishman doing a great job of zoning them.
Trying to salve up as well, but Fishman able to take a bit of that off him. It's a little too close to the AA.
Pure can get level 2 rot here if he wants to and just run them down, honestly, with the hook. Mana burns will start kicking in, so we'll see if they do look to go immediately right away when they do have a chance to go. They have boots now, so let's see.
They're going to try and chase them. Kite out the ink swell. Can Pure just step back into it? I mean, he doesn't really care at all. The hook setup's there. As another kill here for Pure to get involved with. This bottom lane, it's looking rough for TSM.
It's looking incredibly rough. Like this Pudge, we didn't actually get the first strength, so he only has 2 right now, but either way, like this type of start, it's absolute free farm. Doom gonna be shut down. This is never a situation you want to be with the Doom. And this Grimshock, both of them do not want to be this underleveled. And on the other side lanes, like Entity's doing just fine. Even though they have this double melee versus Chen and Ursa, they're just cutting the creep wave and pulling it behind the tower constantly, so Toby's doing just fine. Even Katomi, look at this, keeping the creep wave, or trying to keep the creep wave out of the tower.
Take a fair bit of damage here from Tomato, but Tomato's not going to be able to commit in to finish off the kill, too close to the tower.
Yeah, let's see how they... I mean, Devour is going to be the big thing to kind of recover Saberlight's game, but has to be quite wary of the constant kill threat that comes out.
Yeah, they've got to be really careful about giving up any more kills down bottom.
He's got stick, not enough mana yet for the hook. Moon.
He can run down Moon a bit with the rock.
There's her hook.
That'll do it. Another kill.
Oh, and this is quite disastrous, really, for TSM at the moment.
Yeah, they can't afford to keep feeding this Pudge. Pure.
No, they cannot.
Having a perfect time down on this bottom lane.
Yeah, and even though we mentioned, Bryle, he did get those early kills, so he got the bottle early. It actually still doesn't matter. Stormstormer able to take advantage of the matchup. He's putting a lot of pressure onto Bryle. Moon actually having to go toward mid to fill up. Maybe a toss back. Quite able to.
Too fast here, Alina.
Now he has to walk all the way back toward bottom, and Pure, he's got mana again for hook, so they could look for Saberlight again.
He's got to be so careful this Saberlight.
Up top, actually turning onto Tomato with these double melee.
Tomato, regen situation not looking too hot either.
No regen either on the Chen.
Yeah, they've just got the auras, the headdress. Other than that, Tomato's going to be kept very, very low here for now until he gets that courier out to him.
He could die. He actually has to be incredibly careful how much he steps up. If they have the double nuke from Toby and a stun, that will kill him. But right now, all three lanes do feel like they're going incredibly well for this side of Entity. Sure, Tomato still has very good CS, but has to be very careful of that.
Already know the levels and still the pressure on in the mid.
He's even going behind the tower a little bit to pressure Bryle.
Saberlight, he knows that the lane's not really a place to play anymore. He's just going to have to start grabbing these creeps. They'll come in with a setup. We'll open up for the light strike array. Got enough damage, not quite. Bryle will be fine.
Good rotation though with the catapult. They don't get the kill, but they're going to be able to get some good pressure onto that. And I mean, Saberlight's level 3-0, and Pure's almost level 6, just to put it in that perspective. It's Moon.
Be able to get this kill here.
He's got stick charges though. Fishman might just be able to disengage.
And he's pretty speedy.
Yep.
Stick. Yep. He's cool. He's cool.
He knows. There's another nuke. It's off the mark.
Hit though. Nice little sidestep there from Fishman, and he's out of there.
And now mid, Bryle. They want to try to go for the rune. It spawns bottom, so Moon cure that.
And I've got Dubu to help out with the damage and with the chase with the ghosts.
They don't have much mana left on Tiny, and Stormstormer has Soul Ring, looking to turn.
Omi, but no chance of getting Storm.
Okay, so the double support rotations to help out Bryle, and they will secure the rune. Moon went bottom, checked it out. Okay, starting to recover things slightly here for this side of TSM. But they will definitely have massive punch problems. Level 6 now on Pure. Saberlight incredibly underleveled. And even looking to set up on him already. But the rotation is coming for TSM.
TSM might be able to fight this. See what they can do with the three of them. Pure opening up with a Dismember onto Saberlight. Moon will turn things around here with the Ink Swell, but further TP's coming in for Entity. Pure will easily line up another hook. Stormstormer and Fishman ready to help out to get some kills here for the Pudge. Yet again, setups there onto Moon. Moon will fall. So of course the escape from Dubu, but again, it's just more kills that Pure's able to be in the vicinity of. He's getting these Flesh Heap stacks. He's going to be well on the way towards his first item, and each and every one of these failed attempts it's just going to mean that Pure's getting closer and closer to this unkillable territory that he'll be in the early game.
Yeah, 7 strength already, level 7. They're giving him all the experience too. Like, look, even the AA, even Fishman's not really going toward bottom lane. He's playing this weird AA where he's like moving around and roaming almost in a way, just because he's giving Pure all these levels. I think eventually they will want to give him the lane on this AA soon. Get that level 6 early on. Or Katomi. I mean, Katomi's level 2. So very under-leveled supports at the moment because they're just prioritizing giving their core so much. Up top, Tomato actually being chased out by Toby. You don't see too often these off-lane Pangos. It's kind of gotten better. You know, it was a pretty weak offlaner for some time. I know Boom, in particular, was one of the teams that still played it on FBZ, but now it seems to be rising a lot more with the new shield crash change.
See some moves now, Pure. Gonna head over towards the mid, maybe see if he gets a chance to get a grab around the rune spawn, and he does. He's in with a hook, grabs Bryle, they'll throw down the Laguna Blade, Bryle will fall. And already Entity ready to push on to try and get more from this.
Boy.
Pure chases down Moon, a double kill from him. As TSM, they just weren't ready at all for Pure to already be leaving that bottom half of the map and getting active this early, 8 minutes in.
They don't have a mid ward, so they didn't see him at all.
Might have a chance for the hook on Dubu. He's going to go for the guess of the angle that he went for. Won't get it right.
He gets the creeps, though. Dubu's poor army just continues to get cleaned up every time he gets any creeps. Saberlight getting some much-needed space. believe he's got the Midas done, so we'll be able to catch up.
Pure for Pure here.
Uh-oh.
With the Dismember, he'll opt for the TP out. Fury swipes it in, they'll take him down.
Big kill.
Massive for Timado to be able to find that handed to him in his own jungle.
That really was so needed, it felt like, for TSM. Saberlight getting the space, he has the Midas, immediately gets a neutral item from it, of course, and then a little bit of a slip up there, mistake from Entity, giving Timado big kill.
As we've seen, despite the pressure that Timado did have put on him on that top lane, he's been farming fantastically. With that kill thrown into it as well, only a couple hundred gold between him and Pure. And as you said, Ursa, that is the key to bringing down this Pudge as the game goes on. So Timado still very much scaling up at a pace where, there will be that threat for Pure.
And Bryle is falling behind a little bit, but his job is still going to be kind of clear. The Tiny just getting on top of the Lina in particular in most of these situations as the game progresses, so. Push the bottom tower.
See if Entity want to do anything about the defense.
Looks like they are rotating over. Supports, as we said, a bit under-leveled. Level 4 now on Katomi.
The opening here, they'll slip the toss.
That's a pretty bold toss.
It's over towards the outpost, so TPs will be coming in. Drop the Doom down onto Entity, but already Pure, he's got the rod off, so he's running them down still. Stormstormer's going to be able to live. He gets out. They'll lose the 3 of them. This was not the move that TSM was looking to make, but it was certainly the one they chose to take with that toss initiation.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, the only way that they can make that type of move is if they toss the Grimstroke in, who's super squishy, and there's an outpost there. There's also just 2 or 3 heroes, actually pretty much all of the side of Entity there, so TSM biting off more than they can chew.
And of course, Pure, he was very quick actually, got the rot off just before the Doom came in, so despite being doomed, he was still running them down and just killing them over time with the damage from the rot.
Yeah, and even though he's doomed, he had Flesh Heap on, so the Doom just
got that off as well.
Yeah, he just gets eaten. All the damage from Doom is actually non-existent. It's Saberlight.
I love the Ice Blast.
Perfect.
Very well placed there by Fishman.
Big stuff from Entity. This early game, 12-7, sure. We do see the Ursa having that good game, but we do see now Bryle. We mentioned his job, he can actually burst the Lina, but a couple of deaths now, adding up.
Find the angle for the hook here, Timado.
See, the stun in a second.
Keep his range with the Earth Shot. Does have the movement speed to keep that distance, so Pure won't catch him for now. Yeah, a lot of pressure resting on Timado here.
It really is.
He's had excellent farm, again, just keeping up with Pure. He has to have pretty much a perfect game to make sure that he has that potential to be able to stand toe-to-toe with the Pudge and take him down in these fights.
But Bryle is quite behind. Even though we're saying, he has his job, is pretty obvious of what he wants to do in these later portions to jump on the Lina. His blink is going to be very delayed at these moments. Even though he has 4 kills to his name, he is significantly behind the other cores. Mech is finished for Dubu, so this is where we were saying, the Chen, let's see what TSM is going to look to do, because right now they haven't been able to pressure any of the towers just yet.
See a smoke setup here. Sohomi and Fishman. Ice Blast is ready to go. The stun into Blast and the follow-up damage of Toby should be able to take down Saberlight. We'll see how prepared he is for this one. Jump in with the Tumbler's Toy to close the gap. Ice Blast to follow up. They're ready to dive in with the Rolling Thunder. The cold feet kicking in. Saberlight will fall. They may even get the chance for Moon as well. The rollback will miss. The Soulbind holds them back, so Moon will manage to save himself.
But it's kind of a wasted Soulbind almost in a way, because there's no one there to capitalize on it or put any pressure play, so just a cooldown used. So 80 seconds on that one. The Hand of God actually came out before the AA Blast, and it's nowhere near enough. So now for next fight, there's no Hand of God either. So TSM unable to even prevent that death from happening. Now Toby has a Blink Dagger, so easier initiation for the side of Entity to even do these type of plays.
Very scary for even heroes like Timado. If Toby's able to get in with the Blink Rolling Thunder, get that set up before the Enrage comes off, they will have follow-up to lock down Timado. Incredibly prepared for those sort of moves that Entity will look to make on him.
I was wondering if we'd see, I know it's an item that we don't see picked up like almost ever on the Lina, but because he is versus Ursa, I was wondering maybe Stormstormer goes for Yules or somebody's going to look to go for a Yule Scepter, but nothing indicated just yet. Just kind of, as we said, he's kind of going to be playing that carry from the mid lane, so just going for his own damage items.
Wants to make sure that Bryle and Moon don't mess with him too much with these sort of control abilities.
He just needs to survive, He sees the Tiny jumping in, he just BKBs to prevent the Ink Swell and the burst combo. As Moon shows himself bottom for a second.
I'll get the stun off, and there's the follow-up. I don't think there'll be anyone TPing in to help Moon out, as there should be another one for Entity.
Oh, okay.
See mid lane as well. Ryle, he'll be fine. Has got a haste rune going, so mess around with him here. And he's getting very close to his item.
They can't do anything until they have Blink Dagger on him, really. Yeah. Their aggression. After they made that bottom blunder, trying to toss the Grimstroke in, I think they realized, like, uh-oh, we cannot make... If we make, like, one more of those mistakes, this game is just going to get out of hand. Wait till the easy play comes out with those blinks. Power Rune coming out in a second.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's going to spawn top, so just a regen, but soon Blink done. We will see TSM at least pick up the pace a little bit with that one. But as you said, from the early games of the draft, Entity, they're probably going to look to just keep being able to fight back at all times too. I'd imagine Katomi and Fishman just look to roam around together as this AA and this Sven. Pure, his Aghanims is almost done, Owen. So an excellent game for the Pudge, as we had said.
Still Tomato keeping it completely on par here with the farm of Pure. He's got his Battle Fury done. We'll be going straight for that BKB next to make sure that he can get involved in these fights, as they know that Entity, especially when the Axe is complete on Pure, they will be stepping up the pressure and starting to get into TSM's half of the map and take these towers down.
They have to address the Pango in the fights for the Ursa to do anything, though. That's the important thing. They're going to have to get that Soulbind to be able to latch up the Pango, because otherwise, not just the control that's coming up, but with the new Pango, it's the lucky shot. You get hit by a little casual shield crash, you're disarmed as an Ursa, stuff like that, so...
Look at the jump in, Bryle. Not able to get the torch back in time, though. Was trying to set it up. Couldn't quite find the positioning to do so, and now cost him his life. Entity were ready for that one. They'll head down the mid, pressure the tier 1. See if they can get more. Stun set up onto Dubu. Pure charges up to the high ground. They'll take 2 kills for that.
Oh, and I gotta point this out. Bryle with a very different skill build than usual. He only has the 1 point in toss. So he actually went for toss back, but I think it was out of cast range.
I think so as well, indeed. Only with that 800 cast range at level 1. So potentially was trying to make a play that just wouldn't have been available with the skill build that he has.
I've really never seen this skill build from a mid-tiny unless you're gonna like transition to being the carries. Like 90% of the time you want to have your combo available to be able to burst heroes like Alina. We'll see that attempt. This is very different.
I mean, you'll probably be able to see as well. What do you think he was trying to throw the Lina towards?
I think he's trying to throw to one of his teammates.
Probably able towards Saberlight, right? So he can get the
so.
Doom in. But indeed, just a bit further than the cast range that he had available with the level 1 toss.
And now he switches it up. He gets that 2nd point of toss. Yeah, I've never really seen a mid-tiny going for the 3 points in tree grab early.
Bottom lane, Stormstormer. He'll be able to find the opening. The chain stun as well. Tomato is enraged. It's on cooldown still. 8 seconds. He's got no way out of there.
This is looking very similar to the first game, if not more one-sided, really.
Top tier 1 tower in trouble as well. Bro, I'll try to put some pressure on mid, but already the TPs are coming in. Entity sweeping over. They don't want to let any of their own towers go down. 16 minutes in. Already TSM losing a couple of their own and not able to take anything from Entity.
They got to look to try to make their own move, like try to get something to work out with this Blink Dagger. The first reveal didn't work, but they still have to try something because they're just falling further and further behind right now. I think Stormstormer has BKB done too, so it will be harder and harder for them to catch him with that tossback in these situations. Now, they didn't get a single tossback on the Lina. They didn't catch her once pre-BKB.
It's going to be hard to make a move on Stormstormer now. It's Roshan. Something that TSM would really have loved to have a chance at, being the lineup with an Ursa. But Entity, they'll be the ones to force it first.
It's so difficult to fight here. Like, Toby just will dominate the fight in this area.
Can't get into the pit. It's going to be all Entities. Pure picks up the Aegis.
Oh boy, I mean, it's really starting to feel quite one-sided. TSM has to find something to be able to get themselves back in the game, but Entity, they're playing as a unit now. Look at this, the 3 just sticking together, the 3 playmakers, Fishman, Katomi, and Toby, while the other 2 just kind of farm around. And yeah, it's going to be hard for them to ever jump Stormstorm with such an early BKB. And Pure with an Aegis, he knows play very confidently. Also, of course, the 26 strength that he has.
Baited in by an illusion rune, at least. A little bit of a reveal that some of them did go for the smoke up. Still, maybe able to find a fight. I mean, even if TSM know that Entity's coming, it's not easy for TSM to take a team fight. Already up to the side, Toby gets the jump in on to do with it. Get the double doom off. Tomato over moving, looking towards the Sven. Laguna Blade thrown down on the Saberlight as well as the Ice Blast. The cold feet kicking in as well. Saberlight will fall.
Here comes Pure.
They've taken out Kataomi, but I don't think they're going to be taking out anything else in TSM, as they have to back off from Entity. To the Doom. Come to an end on Toby as well. He'll be fine. They're still good to fight, and TSM know it. They back away from Entity. They can't look for anything else here, only getting Kataomi.
They get the double doom, but it's on the it's on these 2 frontliners that don't really care. Like, Katomi dies, but who cares? And the Pango, he actually ends up tanking through it. They don't have the damage. Yeah, surprising that they only lose one hero, though. I think that's pretty fortunate for them because the Pudge Pure was wrapping around behind him. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of this timing where TSM is going to feel really, really strong to be able to actually fight toe-to-toe versus Entity, and I think it's just BKB on Tomato, but even then, the fights won't feel easy because of how far behind you are for him. The other heroes are just going to be cannon fodder in the fight.
Yeah, when Entity's making these moves as a 5-man, there's just no way that Tomato can get involved before that pickup. They've got to just try and secure him the space and take the attention away from him so he can get that second item done, that BKB after the Battle Fury.
But will he, the thing is, like, as we mentioned before too, it's like the Ursa farming well, he's good versus the Pudge, but who's going to be good versus the Lina? Because that's that secondary carry that Entity did pick themselves up for. And yeah, Stormstormer, he has his Crystallis finished up in a second too, so he is going to start dealing a crazy amount of right-click damage in the fights too.
Absolutely, it is a lot for Tomato to have to carry here.
And already now, Entity continue to try to, they're feeling their advantage, they're buying a gem early, Fishman, so looking to just cripple any type of vision that TSM does have to get any type of pickoffs.
See, again, inside TSM's triangle.
Also to point out, the Lina, on top of having a Crystallis, did find the dagger. So Dagger of Ristul plus Crystallis Lina. A lot of damage for Stormstormer if he's not taken out at the start of the fight.
No, for sure. And he's got some excellent frontliners in his draft. You know, with Katomi on the Sven, Pure on the Pudge, Toby on the Pango. These three just going straight in on the fight, making sure that it's very likely Stormstormer's just going to be able to stand his ground and get an insane amount of right clicks off.
Yeah, I mean, they're also going to have like 22 bonus armor every time they're next to Katomi too, so, and not easy for Tomato. Not on his own by any means. Doom back up in 2 seconds.
Pure,
he's just in.
He's going to go in. Enrages off in time, so we'll limit the duration of the dismember.
And see how confident he is in his strength, though. Even blinking with the gem of his own team, too. So a little risky, but he has Aegis.
Yeah, still a minute and a half left on that. If he wants to blink it again, he does, Pure. Get in with a blink, he's in on top of Saberlight. Saberlight would try and get away from this, but he cannot escape it.
He popped the BKB at the end, too. He held it until he tried to hold it as long as possible, but yeah, just gets killed.
Yeah, that last bit of physical damage from the swashbuckle of Toby, taking him out through it.
Oh god, now Toby also has an Aghanims of his own, so yeah, fight really does feel like it's so damn difficult.
21 minutes in, this was sort of around the time that game one came to an end.
Yeah.
This one will almost certainly last a little bit longer, but and another rough fight for TSM, and we might be seeing the G's come up.
Now look at Pure, he's walking up to tier 4s. Level 15 talent also picked up for Toby as he gets his Aghanims too, so it's like everything synergizing perfectly for the side of Entity. And yeah, Tilbert, Ursa getting closer and closer to BKB, but as we preface, it's like, how's he gonna do it just on his own? Everyone else is just falling so far behind, Bryle in particular. He's almost half net worth of the Lina on this Tiny.
See TSM knowing that the Aegis to an end on Pure, they'll lead out with the smoke.
They need like such ideal double dooms. It has to hit 2 of the cores.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see if they can time that jump. Even if they do get on top of Pure, killing just the once is not a small feat.
Aegis is gone. But look at the control. Like, look how little they're able to farm on TSM. Like, all stuck as a unit. None of them are farming. Not even Tomato.
For a sort of entity now in this position, we'll see what they want to take off the map. They can look for the tier 2 top for the next Roshan. We'll see when it's up in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think they're pretty comfortable even if the fight comes to them or anything like that because of how big Toby is. Like if Toby does not get doomed, and even if like Lina probably doesn't get doomed, or one of the, you know, like I said, the 2 cores, the fight looks like it'll probably be disastrous for TSM. The Ursa has insane work cut out for him. And Daedalus now also, Stormstormer. All 3 cores actually do so much damage on this lineup of Entity.
Be able to find the tower bottom, TSM. Drawn as well, and expecting them to head over towards their own jungle.
KB's done for Tomato, but the secondary item, like what's the, like we said, the secondary core just has very much difficulty compared to just how he can fight. Sure, they have the Doom with the BKB, but...
And it really is, as you say, you know, the fact that Stormstormer has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And for Tomato to be able to do that, he needs his next 2 items, the Blink and the Basher. really, before he can confidently jump in, cause an issue for Stormstormer.
Yeah, it's just so many layers that they have to go through. These 3 super tanky frontliners for the Lina to just turn it away.
I see what they've got here, TSM. Smoke up. Brown, Tomato. See if they can bait some action here towards the mid lane. TPs will start to come in from Entity. Pure is going to start things up, goes in straight away as they'll lead it onto Tomato. They've got the Dismember to lock him down. Tomato needs help. He'll be able to get the BKB off, but he cannot survive through the physical damage of Stormstormer. Ice blast down to the two of them. Oh, the kill for Toby as they're going to look for more. Running down Saberlight. See if they can give it to them. They can. Rampage for Toby on the Bangalore hit. 24 minutes in.
Look, picture perfect. Like, Entity, they're looking for the fight. TSM for a second, trying to get an opportunity to hit a tower, but Entity strike with full force.
And they're ready to run it down the mid here. A lack of buybacks here for TSM.
Like, Saberlight doesn't know what to do. Look at him, he's BKB'd, he's like, do I want to do him? Do I want to do him? I don't know if I want to do him. Oh god, the fight's over.
And just how much damage Stormstormer was coming in there as he opened up onto Tomato. These big sort of 600 damage crits. They just didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful draft that comes together perfectly. As we mentioned, Toby with the Aghanims, the Lucky Shot, new Lucky Shot talent. Everyone has minus 11 armor when they get Lucky Shot in, and Lena's able to just wail on them from a distance too. So, yeah, really cool the way this draft has kind of panned out.
See TSM, they will get to live another day here. Just the mid-rack's gone.
Living their base though. They're kind of tossing each other back and forth with Bryle right now. I think they're knowing the inevitability of this one right now. Entity. Unbelievably clean this series. Little to no mistakes, really.
Still a tier 1 standing on the bottom lane, so at least having a few levels of defense down there that will hold them against the threat of the Megas, but
yep,
the bigger issue do take another team fight. They probably have a good shot of running it down the mid, taking the tier 4 and the Ancient.
Nice try from Dubu trying to get that Harpy Scout. They still have that mid ward also, which was giving a little bit of information. The only ward that they actually have right now is that gem that was earlier picked up, as we mentioned, from Fishman. But yeah, I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how these fights get easier. It's so difficult. Even the double dooms at this point just feel like they'll be dubious to try to go for anything onto Entity. TSM just need some type of big mistake.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like just a waiting game now for TSM, waiting for Entity to go for that high ground push. Maybe some sort of overextension could give them an opportunity on their high ground.
What a sad thing to hope for, really. They have the tiny tossbacks at the very least to kind of work with it. That's why we probably see Entity giving a little bit of respect to it, but yeah, not getting any farm on the map. Poor Tomato just trapped in the base.
See Roshan coming up very shortly as well, so highly likely Entity will be able to grab that one in preparation for the next attempt at a siege.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And they'll scout it right away too. Fishman already on the case. Ice Vortex. Sim. Yeah, no wait, they can't contest it either, so they'll have to play into that Aegis, they'll have to play into that new shard. That's smooth sailing for Entity.
Starting to step out the base a little bit, TSM, as they see that Roshan's fallen and the Aegis into their hands of Storm, and they'll have to back straight back up. I mean, Entity, they're smoking up and ready to sweep across the map. May just find TSM outside of the base.
I think they were trying to like smoke to kind of meet up with the Lina area, because maybe expecting TSM to do something. They're gonna jump straight away.
Onto Fishman, they'll take him out. Over the side though, Pure, he's got the hook on Tomato. Tomato will pop the BKB. Toby jumping for the supports on the back lines. They commit onto Pure. Tomato trying to take him out. And Tomato just taking too much damage in from Stormstormer. Pure will fall. But it's cost them 2 lives, almost certainly 3 unless this TP saves him. It doesn't. Saberlight also taken down. They finally get the pudge, but at an incredible cost once again. Dubu also to fall.
Have to commit everything for this pudge because he's so tanky. And then that allows the Lina, allows Toby to just have free reign in the game, as we've seen multiple times now.
This will be a second set of racks. They do have 3 buybacks available, and of course with the state of the game and how early it is still, they're not out of the game that long. The death time, the respawn time is pretty short here. And as I say, still a tier 1 standing on that bottom lane, so
yep. They'll have to
No
go back
chance
down
of
there.
losing the Megas quite yet.
But unable to ever win a fight, as we're seeing constantly. Entity just far too far ahead. And they're all just gonna go bottom, meet with their Lina, and I love this, the kind of smoke that Entity sets up there, right? Like, when Lina TP's bottom, that's the opportunity where TSM probably tells themselves, our only move in the map right now is smoking and trying to catch this Lina if he's split from his team. So Entity, they do this like fake move into the enemy jungle, smoke, and then do this like kind of catch to go between the angles of where the TSM lineup would try to catch Lina. So a perfect fight for them again, really.
Okay. Ryle has now got his BKB.
Okay.
More of a chance for him to commit in. They're going for a long smoke wrap around here towards the top, but as it is, Entity, they're all bottom, ready to pounce right outside TSM's base.
All right, Bryle, let's see what toss back you can get.
He's gonna try. We'll be able to get him in pretty deep into the hands of Tomato, but Stormstorm's having the BKB up and he's healing back up. They couldn't kill the Lina. Stormstorm is going to be perfectly fine. Dismember out onto Tomato. He's out it again. No buyback. Boom Meander down as well. GG is called. Entity. 2 games here back to back. Just completely destroying TSM. TSM having a rough day today. This was not far from their finest, folks. Entity, they made this look pretty easy. A 20-minute victory into